Welcome everybody to the latest edition of geek-span. Wasn't a whole lot to end the year 2019, so we skipped a week. We had a little bit of time for our families, had some fun, but it's time for the D-Man and Skip to be back with you with your Geek Culture 411. How you doing, Skip?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Happy to be talking about some news again. We got some interesting things to talk about, spanning everything from Star Wars to MCU to DC. So we got a little bit of everything. I'm ready to jump into it.
Yes, it's going to be a fun day here today. We're going to be talking Star Wars comics. We got some Kevin Feige. So, how about you give and I'll receive the first one?
Sounds good. In a recent interview, Marvel Studios chief Kevin Feige inadvertently confirmed a trans superhero in the MCU very soon. Feige misunderstood the question and meant to confirm the inclusion of the first openly gay superhero in Eternals. Wes, what are your thoughts on Feige's slip up?
Oh, well, that was unfortunate. I do think, in the MCU, we probably will see a trans superhero, but it's certainly not very soon. He even indicated that they were filming it at the moment. Of course, we've come to find out that he misunderstood the question and thought they were talking about a gay character. So, you would hope that one of his handlers would be with him to recognize that he missed something and be like, "Oh, hey, Kevin, you kind of misunderstood this. Let's readdress that question, and that way you don't have false information out there and getting some people in an uproar that they're outraged, and some people are would probably were very very happy and welcoming finally the first trans superhero in the MCU. So probably a little bit unfortunate on Kevin's part. He doesn't really slip up too much, but I bet he wishes he could take this one back.
Yeah, most likely it was just an honest mistake. And Feige has a track record of being a guy that is a stand-up dude, and doesn't per se try to do things to that aren't getting ready to already set that aren't already set in motion, just to get people excited. So I think this, for anybody who's logical and reasonable is going to look at it for what it was and just say, oh, okay, yeah, we get it. He just meant, he was responding to one part of the question and accidentally responded to two things at once when he was really just responding to the first one. He misunderstood that he also needed to respond to the second one. So hopefully people don't make too big of a deal about this, but it was just an honest mistake. And I mean it with him being the chief creative officer over at Marvel, and being someone who is well connected, very well liked, most successful producer currently in Hollywood, and is around plenty of people that are in the LGBT plus community. It wouldn't surprise me at all that there's ideas for all of those different characters to eventually show up. So hopefully no one gives Kevin a hard time. It was just an honest mistake.
I'm willing to give him a pass. Hopefully, all the viewers and everybody out there that's a fan of the MCU does as well. Feels like it was an honest mistake. So before we move on to the next topic, I want to say thank you very much to Nalo and Old School Comics, two of our recent supporters on the coffee page. We very much appreciate the support. We got a lot of big plans. We're going to release those tomorrow on the channel before we do Comics Aficionados. So we do have some bills coming up as far as editing software and some places that we're going to take the channel. So we appreciate all the support. If you want to support Thinking Critical in our future endeavors, go visit the video description, and there is a link if you want to check it out. And there will be some perks for people who want to support the channel. So thank you very much for the consideration. Now, the next topic. Sticking with Marvel's Kevin Feige, when recently asked about the success of the MCU, he stated, I think the key to the success was Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko and the dozens of writers and artists that created an amazing world over the course of 40 plus years, 50 plus years. Later adding, I think one of the unfair things of the universe is that Jack Kirby died before he got to see any of this happen, and I'm so happy that Stan Lee got to do 22 MCU cameos for us and was there every step of the way with us, which was amazing. Skip, are you supportive of the reverence Kevin pays to Stan Lee and Jack Kirby specifically?
Very much, very much. You know, these guys, you know, conceived these characters, you know, from character design to story to backstory and all of that stuff. And all too often, you know, they don't get enough credit. And you know, I love Stan Lee. You know, I'll be a big Stan Lee fan. Just a, you know, just one of the greatest ambassadors, if not the greatest ambassador ever for comics. Every time he opens his mouth, it sounds like he's telling a story. You know, but King Kirby, Jack Kirby, you know, was just as instrumental, and Steve Ditko, you know, with you know things from you know Doctor Strange and how he presented that to you know Spider
Spider-Man.
Man and his inclusion with that. You know the question and Mr. A, all of those different things that he contributed, the different archetypes that he helped build that we still use and utilize and you know celebrate and enjoy reading today. And then and many more as well. Not it doesn't just stop at them, but you know so many of them now are older, tend to be forgotten about, you know, especially outside of the comics industry, but even a little bit inside of the comics industry. So this is one of the reasons why I continue to really enjoy, you know, Kevin Feige and just him, not just you know championing the characters, but the comics and the comic creators and all of that stuff. And I know he's still very focused on the movies, and I don't think that we've quite felt what his impact is going to be on the comic sector of him being the chief creative officer now. But I'm very much looking forward to seeing, you know, with his reverence for the comics and the creators and you know and the people that kind of paved the way to be where we are today. What his impact is going to be on the comic side of things. But what about you, Wes? Do you feel like we've quite felt Kevin Feige's impact on comics yet? And how do you feel about his reverence to the people that lit the torch that we carry today?
Oh, I don't think we've seen his impact on as the chief creative officer of comics yet. I think it, you know, maybe within the first or the next few months. But you know, I like it because he is probably the most powerful producer in Hollywood now. I'm certain that he's got a team of 4 or 5 people all day long telling him how great he is and how he created everything. So it would be very easy for him to get full of himself and think, I created this. But you know, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby specifically, you know, they bled for this industry. You know, they went through the very lean times. You know, Marvel almost, you know, folded up shop, and you know, Stan Lee, you know, got Marvel through it, and you know, as did Jack Kirby. And I do agree with him. It's just so sad that you know Stan Lee got to experience the greatness of the MCU and all the fruits of his labor, but Jack Kirby never really got to see that, you know, when he was alive, and got to experience it, and got to go in front of a crowd and just have, you know, thousands of people you know, appreciating all the hard work and everything that he created. So I like what he did. He should show reverence to him. I like that he hasn't gotten so full of himself that isn't willing to look in the past and see the great people, the giants whose shoulders he's standing on, and created this wonderful MCU that is feeding his family and thousands of families in Hollywood with the great characters and the stories that they created.
Absolutely, absolutely, I fully agree. So again, thank you, Kevin Feige. Keep that up, man, because people need to know. People need to know, and looking forward to see what you do in comics. Because I know you're watching this video. I know you're actually watching us on Twitch right now. So from some Marvel news over to some DC news. DC Comics Deathstroke recently concluded at issue 50. Not due to sales though. Writer Christopher Priest asked DC co-publisher Dan Didio to end the series on his terms. Is this how to end a series in style, Wes?
Yeah, I like it. You know, so many uh, things in entertainment just go on past their sell by date, you know, and you're like, wow, we're on, you know, issue 243 of Savage Dragon, and no one's been reading or buying the comic for 5 years or maybe even more now. And you see it in TV and you're like, oh wow, they're recycling. You know, the Big Bang Theory hasn't been good for a long time, you know. It's but they keep it going because it makes money. So I like Christopher Priest. I like the cut of his jib. You know what? When the story's over, the story is over. There's no reason to prolong it. Yes, you can probably make some more money, but you're just going to tarnish all the work you did prior. You're going to hurt the legacy of what you created. And he did a lot of great stuff on Deathstroke. That's an excellent and underappreciated series of DC Comics. And, I think a lot of people probably are disappointed that it's ending, but I congratulate Christopher Priest on seeing there's an end date and it's time to move on to another character and let someone else work with Deathstroke in the future.
I agree. And Chris, being an OG in this game, him, before he was writing comics on the main stage, he was an editor first. So he understands editorial side. He understands, him having to interact with publishers. He understands, even a little bit of the publishing side. So he's not like a new jack who's in here just trying to keep things going and, just trying to keep making a name for himself. He already did. Deathstroke series, super quality. Just not quite my cup of tea, but the quality was there, and I appreciated a lot of what he did on that series. Quality is not even the word when it comes to Christopher Priest and what he was doing on Deathstroke. But I just appreciate a good story deserves a good end, and like you said, Wes, why let it expire and still be chugging the milk when we can say, you know what, this milk was good. It's not like let's get it out a day before the expiration date. And like you said, let someone else take a crack at it. He's got other work, and there's not only that, but he's probably said, you know what? I also feel like I've run my course on this, and I myself am interested in jumping into something else and getting a fresh take on something. He's already got Vampirella going, so I just appreciate Priest. Not falling for some of the tactics that it's easy for editorial and for publishing and for creators to fall into, and just cutting it, ending it on his terms, letting someone else come in, him walk away into the sunset onto another series. I think it was really cool.
All right, buddy. You ready for the outrage of the cinch?
Yeah, I am. Let's go.
Bleeding Cool recently released their comic industry top 100 power list for 2019. Noticeably absent are two wonderful comic YouTubers and Twitch aficionados, you and I. How are you handling this epic snub, my good friend?
I've been snubbed so much in my life, Wes. I got kind of used to it. Just kidding. I mean, honestly, so much of these types of things I feel like comes down to who people know and all that other stuff. And we're a humble little channel. We come up here, we got our group, we got our people that tune in and enjoy what we do. Enjoy your breakdowns and enjoy my goofy face. So man, it's just one of those things. But 2020 is a year where I feel like we're gonna grow and. Who knows, maybe next year, but it's not really, getting onto these types of things. There's two sides of it. You can always look at it like, all right, it's nice to see that someone recognizes the work that, you've been putting in, the hard work. And then on the flip side, it's like, it doesn't even matter if you get the biggest award or whatever. You can't let it go to your head. At the end of the day, it's always still about being passionate about what you do and being loyal to the people that support you every day and being true to who you are. But I do think this is pretty funny. I'm glad you put this one in here. How do you feel about it, Wes? Talk to me about it.
I'm outraged. It's a sham. It's
a shanda.
I can't believe that we're not getting the credit we deserve. We are putting in the hours, sir, and we are not on that list. All right. We're probably not movers and shakers just yet, but 2020 is going to be the year of the skip and D connection. The D man is here. We're bringing it hardcore in 2020, and bigger and better things, my friend. We're not going to make the list next year either, but we will one day.
One of these days, it's our elbows, Wes. We haven't been rubbing elbows with enough of the right people, but you know what? That's all right. From you out in the Philippines, me out here in Sacramento, we're gonna make it happen. Above all, everybody who's tuning in, thank you guys for tuning in. The way you guys tune in, I feel like I won the award. I feel like, world champion. I wake up, I'm like, people want to hear what I got to talk about comics and geek culture, man. This is crazy. So yeah, it's all good. But from one scandal to another. Now that Disney's Star Wars trilogy is complete with Rise of Skywalker, John Boyega is having a bit of fun on social media, making fun of the love triangle between his character Finn, Rey, and Kylo Ren. Now having fun is going back and forth with overzealous fans as well. Do you like the new post Star Wars Boyega, Wes?
Absolutely, I love it. Because I'll be honest, nobody got screwed over harder by the Disney Star Wars trilogy than John Boyega. The first half of the Force Awakens, it appears that he's Force sensitive, and his destiny might be to be a Jedi. And it appears that he and Rey are like equals. They're both going to be hero of the trilogy. And the second half of that movie, he gets sliced in half, like he gets butterflied like a freaking pork chop, and then he's turned into an enormous joke. He's just a punchline in the second movie. He's forced to kiss Rose Tico in one of the most awkward moments in cinematic history. He was having a moment. He was connecting with the audience after everything terrible that had been done to the character in the first part of that movie, and he was forced to ruin it so he could have a weird make out session, with someone his character clearly wasn't attracted to. Me Too moment really for Star Wars as far as I'm concerned. And I'm glad he's having fun with it. He got screwed over. I am certain that when he signed on to this, he thought this was going to be a huge role. He was going to be a huge figure moving forward in Star Wars, and his character was turned into a joke. I'm glad he's having fun with fans. Have fun with it. You could sulk. He could be in the corner. He could be pissed. He's having a good time. He's having a go at it at Lucasfilm. He's giving them the crap they deserve because they did not treat him well, in my opinion.
I fully agree. It's funny. I always think about like Finn is a character that I'm always so it was such a disappointment to me, his whole character. And the biggest reason why it was a disappointment because John Boyega is such a charismatic actor. Like you look at the other movies that he's been in. I mean, you could even look at these and the moments that he does get to do what he does, but he brings so much charisma to the screen, to his character, even if the lines aren't great and whatever. Like he's one of those people that just like delivers. It almost to a sense, and this is like a way higher thing, but it almost reminds me of what Raul Julia did as M. Bison in Street Fighter. Like he was just overt and over the top and so charismatic for a movie that was very satirical, really, in a sense. And Boyega kind of brings a bit of that, Rose, and Bo, like he's like bringing a lot to scenes where like he really could have mailed it in, and it would have just felt like, it would have felt like George Lucas was back in the directing chair. Shout out to George Lucas though, but honestly, man, I think most people covered all of the other stuff. You covered like the bigger points. I'm thinking of like into the nooks and crannies of the situation. I would like to be a fly on the wall when he was brought into the Disney offices and Kathleen Kennedy pitched him, after him being chosen, pitched him what she wants Finn to be. Which I'm sure, like, just like we thought in the trailers, probably, like, it's going to be like a force, like, you're going to be a stormtrooper turned to the other side. That's going to be a very interesting story, never told before. Well, never told on a big screen before. And then on the flip side, like, you're kind of going to be, like, an equal to this character, Rey and da-da-da. And then you guys are going to do these adventures together, and you guys are going to be, really close. And then him just being like, yeah, him getting sold on all that, and then like him realizing slowly as the movie's going on and they're making changes to The Force Awakens, and then The Last Jedi comes out, like they didn't have a plan, and everything that she sold me was just an idea that was not set in stone. I'm gonna sit back and just collect a paycheck. I'm not gonna mail it in, but this is not what what they thought. And he had already started kind of mouthing off on social media during The Last Jedi, so when this came, I was like, oh yeah, this is just pretty consistent. But overall, I'm glad he's having fun. The article itself did start to lean really hard in some certain other directions, and I was like, okay, I get where you're coming from. But overall, I like that John Boyega is having fun. I do think it's a shame that anybody from any fandom like gets such crazy reactions on social media from people talking about you ruined this, or oh, I'm distraught, or you should be disgusted, and how you represent black people or black women or whatever, just like all that weird stuff. It's like, yo, like he said, homie, these are fictional characters, you know what I mean? I'm not coming at you, attacking you. I'm not attacking a group of people, but I am making fun of how this weird love triangle was written and not fully fleshed out, and it led to two of the most awkward kisses in cinema history. Because I'll even say, oh, without saying so much, there's a kiss that happens that again is awkward. And I went back and I watched the kiss between Leia and Luke. I'm just gonna put this out here. I watched it. It was not set up on no romance stuff. If you remember, in a way, she was trying to prove a point to Han Solo, and in a way, almost trying to make Han Solo jealous. Like it, yeah. It was not. She was not actually like attracted and wanting to have a relationship with Luke Skywalker. So I just want to set that straight. Yes, ultimately in the end we find out that they're brother and sister, but just to set the record straight, get into context. The context was very, very different. And then Rose Tico just kissing Finn after she knocked his aircraft out of the way, after he might have actually had a moment that redeemed him as a character, because he should have died in the first one if they were going to treat him like this. And then he should have died in the second one, but nope, subverting expectations. And then you get to Rise of Skywalker, and I won't talk about anything that happens in that outside of what I already said, but thank you, John Boyega, for having fun. Thank you for being a sense of humor. Thank you for, in an industry full of people that, yes, are trying to project the image. Thank you for kind of being the rude boy that you are from England, because it is refreshing and it's fun.
All right. Well, I'm going to make a liar out of you, Skip. This final
Right.
topic is dedicated to Skip and I's favorite critical thinker, Dane Barrett. Skip, you finally saw Rise of Skywalker yesterday. Give us your best spoiler-filled 5-minute review of the epic conclusion to Disney's Star Wars trilogy.
Okay. Oh, snap. Okay. Spoiler filled. Okay. So spoilers. So anybody who heard spoilers, if you haven't seen it yet, this is your opportunity to tune out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I can count. And shout out to Dane. What's up, Dane? Yo, this movie, here's the thing. Overall, I enjoyed it. I didn't say I really liked it. I'm gonna say I enjoyed it. As someone who, actually, I didn't spend my money. It was someone had taken me to go see it. But really, man, there's so many parts that you look at it and you're like, huh, what? Like there's parts about Kylo Ray and when he goes to Exegol, and, which was like the planet where Sidious was, or Palpatine, whatever you want to call him, was there, and he was being kept alive. And we see that there's like Snokes and parts of Snokes and like tanks, like Snoke was an experiment, and he tells Kylo like, I've been every voice in your head, and he goes through like Vader's voice and his voice and all the different voices. I was like, okay, that's super convenient, whatever. So you kind of just got to roll your eyes a lot. If I didn't roll my eyes a lot, I might have like really disliked my time. The parts of the movie that were good was, and I'm not even a big Poe Dameron fan, but I'm a big Oscar Isaac fan. Oscar Isaac was good. John Boyega's acting was good. Daisy Ridley's acting wasn't bad. It was cool. They give her a training sequence to be like, see, she did get trained. But here's the thing, like she's up here like force healing people, like closing their wounds and the muscles and the tissue in their body and all that. And I'm thinking, bro, like, and then to backstory to that, they show that Luke trained Leia, so Leia, had the Force, and she was, I guess, supposed to be a Jedi, but like he didn't train her. Like Luke was barely a Jedi Master. They didn't train her to be like Luke couldn't have trained her up to be a Jedi Master in that time. They say that she had given him much earlier to be a mother to Kylo Ren. So if you look at the timetables for how old Kylo is, approximately how old she was at that time, she didn't even get that much training. So how much training did she give to Rey? And how can Rey just be force healing people? Like I don't know,
Qui-Gon or get force healed by Obi-Wan,
by Obi-Wan. Come on, like all this, there's a lot of really convenient stuff. The whole thing with Chewbacca going up and he gets arrested, and you don't see two ships, you only see one ship for what I remember. And then Rey's trying to like stop the ship because Boyega, his only line in the movie is Rey, 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 Rey. Rey, I have something to tell you. What were you gonna say? I'll tell you later. This is weird. But anyway, she's trying to stop the ship. Which, okay, you can just like stop ships for real, really? Okay. And then She accidentally does force lightning because she's a Palpatine. And then the ship crashes, and we're like, "Oh, great, you killed Chewie." It was basically what happened with Poe Dameron in the Force Awakens. How his ship just crashed, and you don't see no other way for him to get out, and then he just like next thing you know, he's running next to running next to Boyega, running next to Finn. I did the same thing with Chewie. Like, oh, Chewie's dead. Oh, Chewie's not dead. Thank goodness. I don't know. So you have to roll your eyes at all that stuff. You have to roll your eyes at the part at the end when, you know, everybody comes around and they're like, "Oh, Rey, you know, all the Jedi with you." The only part that was convenient that I didn't dislike was when she goes back to I forgot the planet, the name of the planet that Luke was on, and she like burns like her ship because she, you know, she's like, "I'm a Palpatine. There's no good I can do." She throws her lightsaber into the fire, and then Force Ghost Luke catches it and is like, "What are you doing?" And that whole thing, how it turned around the Last Jedi, that part was really cool. You know, a Jedi should respect their weapon or whatever that he said, and I was like, "All right, cool, that's dope." I just wanted to see Mark Hamill as Luke, but yeah, but I will say outside of all the very convenient stuff, that was just kind of whatever. Adam Driver too, who I'm not a Kylo Ren fan, but and I'm not a big Adam Driver fan, but Adam Driver did a really good job. Once he transitioned over to Ben Solo, which was a spiritual transition, I guess. It wasn't like definite. That was fine. Oh, another part I had a problem with, because I'm talking about problems. Ray's like, I wouldn't have gone with Kylo Ren, but I would have went with Ben Solo. You never met him when he was Ben Solo. How do you know you would like him when he's Ben Solo? That's convenient. No. But anyway, outside of all the stuff I didn't like, the movie at the start, it was herky-jerky. It was just too fast-paced. You just keep going. But once they get past that part, there is a pretty even flow that they eventually settle into, even though it's still a little too fast-paced. And C-3PO, the characterizations was cool. Babu Frick was probably my favorite part of the movie, the little character guy. He was hecka funny. And yeah, it's just a scavenger hunt. Like, oh, we got to go here, find this thing. We got to go here, find that thing. Okay, cool. This leads us here. Here's the big fight. The big fight was whack too. How Palpatine went out was whack. But Palpatine was really good too. I forget the Ian McDermott or yeah, I think that's his name. The homeboy he always brings it. He's just over the top too and makes you feel like Sidious is in there. So overall, going and watching a movie and sitting down, I did enjoy it. I remember how I felt when I walked out of Last Jedi. I did not feel that way at all. To me, this is weird. I didn't like The Force Awakens. I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it. The Last Jedi I was closer to hating. This I actually enjoyed. So this is my favorite one out of the Disney sequel movies, then The Force Awakens, then The Last Jedi. My favorite movie out of all of the ones that Disney has done, actually that tier list would be Rogue One. Rogue One, The Rise of Skywalker, Solo, The Force Awakens, and then Last Jedi at the very end. So anyway, that's my spoiler review. Overall, I would say it's worth your time to go see it once. I think this will be the one that you dislike the least, and if you're wrong, come into our Discord and talk to me about it in the spoiler section.
All right, buddy, we got to work on this. If you're going to be the next Jeremy Johns, we got to tighten up these 5-minute reviews, buddy.
Apparently we do. Jeremy Johns is a professional. He's been doing this for a long time. Shout out to Jeremy Johns. My 5-minute reviews are more like 15-minute reviews where I'm just I don't have the mouth. But I will say again, thank you for everybody that did their best in trying to give us a good ending when people didn't have a plan. And Jeremy Johns, I love you.
All right, so that finishes today's geek-span. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be right here next week for your Geek Culture 411.